Hey guys, in today's video I want to talk to you about Luke Skywalker's A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and The Force Awakens lightsabers, and maybe even making your own. For many years, I really wanted that version of the lightsaber, the A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back version. And when The Force Awakens came out, it really reignited that desire to have one of these. Now, this particular lightsaber, as you can tell right off the bat, well, it's pre-lightsaber, is the fact that it's just a piece of equipment. When the prop makers made Luke's and Darth Vader's lightsabers back originally, they didn't really do too much with it. They looked pretty good as is. And these were camera flashes. So these went on the side of vintage cameras with the big bulb on top and allowed you to take the picture. You have the picture. And it's pretty cool. That's all you need to do. And all they did, especially for Luke's here, is add some grips here, some T-tracks, a calculator bubble strip here, and a piece of tape covering the word Graflex that's branded all the way across. That's pretty much it. That was a lightsaber. Aside from Obi-Wan Kenobi's in that same film that had a really complex makeover, these ones were pretty simple. Fast forwarding to Empire Strikes Back, they just changed the tape to something more textured. They added rivets or screws, depending which version you looked at, for the grips. And of course, the D-ring that was also on A New Hope was also on that one, so it was pretty much the same. And then when you jump ahead again to The Force Awakens, any minor changes. They did, in Empire Strikes Back, they did have a button here that they replaced with one of these. So they had some changes, but The Force Awakens went basically back to A New Hope, added those same Empire Strikes Back style grips, a new chip card here, and they covered the entire clamp with tape or some other method. So overall, all the lightsabers are pretty much the same. There's a lot of minutia about those, and if you want me to go into detail, be sure to ask me down in the comments below. I can talk about that more in detail, or you can look online. But for the most part, the lightsabers have remained pretty much the same. So in this video, I'm actually gonna put together this lightsaber using parts that I've got, kits from Romans Props. This is also from Romans Props, which I'll have a link in the description if you want to get your own. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to putting this together and showing you the steps involved. It takes a little bit of work, but for the most part, it's highly rewarding, so let's get to it. All right, so you will need a few things to really get this going, to make sure you have everything. So just to run it off real quick is you're gonna need a Graflex. The greatest thing about this particular build is that you don't actually need to work on a lot of it, mainly just the back here. So you can unclamp it, twist and pull, and you have it out. You have your D-ring here. Oh, you have your D-ring here. So you have your D-ring here. You also want your grips, which are pretty self-explanatory for the most part. Now these have been pre-drilled and pre-taped. You need your card. And you need a few basic tools. You do, with this version, I am doing the hex screws, so you do need a tap and drill set, which I did get. Picked it up at Home Depot here in Canada. I got some Mylar tape just to cover it up, cover up the clamp, as well as a template, which I did make using the grips as a size, especially with the holes here. The other thing you want to do is make sure you get your holes correctly for the bottom, and this is probably the first piece I'm going to work on, or the last piece I'm going to work on. But overall, it's time to get started.
So the first thing I did is I took my template and I aligned it onto the bottom half, and then I put my little dots in for every single screw hole I'm going to make a little bit later. There they are. So one good thing about the guide here is just to make sure things level out properly. So I had to just try to make sure they're as straight as possible. Get the first one on there and you can kind of eyeball it for the most part. So then I just took off the release liner for each and every single grip and added it on based on lining it up to that hole and the first grip as well. Pretty nice and easy. Get all 6 on there. Starting to look a little bit like a lightsaber now. Pretty cool. And then just to make sure that my alignment's right. At this point, it's great to do this because nothing's drilled, nothing's permanent, so you can kind of make sure that everything's where you kind of want it to be. And I wanted to line my grip up with the control box, so it's all good. Taking my Dremel and drilling a hole in, and grabbing my tap set. The tap was probably the most labor-intensive part of the entire build. But I had to make sure it was going to work, so always just start with one just to make sure. And I put the screw in there. And I didn't quite get enough, so I have to do it again. Like, tapping allows you to put the path of the screw so that it has a place to follow. But look at that. Very clean, very crisp. I love it. Now, another 5 times. So I'm drilling them all out here. I also approximated where the D-ring clip would be, and I used a marker for that as well, and then I drilled those holes. The drill is a little bit smaller than the actual tap, just to make that grind away the screw path. Now this left a lot of little shavings, so I made sure to clean that up as I was going. So here we go. Like I said, the most labor-intensive part is just this part. Twist, twist, twist. You gotta get it all the way through and all the way back out and far enough in that the screws can make their way through. The metal's pretty soft though, so you don't have too much trouble doing it by hand. The actual package said don't use a drill for it, so I didn't. But I got them all in, and then putting the screws in next. That's, you know, apart. Now you'll see here a few times I actually pull out the tap again because I didn't quite get all the way through the first time I did it. But you can't really tell until you start getting the screw in there. So re-tap it, or finish tapping it, and then get the screw in there, and just work my way through every single screw. This part went fairly simple. Again, it was the most labor intensive. It was the hardest part to do, but pretty simple. Just take your time, line up your lines, and you'll be set. I think I prefer the screws over rivets at this point. I think rivets would have been a lot harder. Or maybe not, I don't know. But there you go, there's the D-ring. And put it together there. Put my chip in. Looking pretty good. Time to do my tape. Now you're going to see here that with the tape, I went with a little bit thinner, trying to do something in between A New Hope and Empire's versions of the texture tape. This tape is temporary. I just had this. I had this available to use, so I did. I would prefer to do the Force Awakens full band version, and I will likely do that eventually. Mostly in this case, this tape didn't quite work out. It was really hard to reset after, so I had some trouble actually getting it on there. And then here, actually, I'm trying to take the little screw off that was attached to the clamp to the upper half of it. So once I got that removed, I did the tape again, which here I thought was going to work out, but it didn't, so I had to cut another piece. Again, just to complete the look for this video, especially, and for now. I'll eventually replace it. But just something to remove the Graflex word. So here we go, and check it out.
So there you guys have it, my hybrid Luke Skywalker lightsaber. It was pretty fun to make. Didn't take long. I know my video sped up there, but probably took maybe half an hour or so to get it all done. There's some changes I'm probably going to make down the line. I'm probably going to change this tape here to cover the whole thing like in The Force Awakens. But aside from that, I'm really happy. Finally have this lightsaber. It's pretty incredible. Looks just about right, and it will hang nicely. If you guys have any questions, comments, let me know down below. Thank you so much, guys, for watching, and thank you very much for letting me share this with you. And I hope that if you make your own, you can check out the links in the description below for your own kits and getting your own Graflex. Guys, thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.